What's up, YouTube? It's Pelfrey, and this is the Red Sea Reefer 250. Red Sea Reefer 250. And it's weird to me. All of a sudden today, I'm searching reef to reef, and I'm just browsing around, and there was a thread on tank builders and seams busting, and yeah, I scrolled through it like 3 or 4 pages into it and talking about Red Sea. Now, mind you, this tank has been running for about 5.5 years in August-ish. It'll be 6 years. And knock on wood, I've not had a seam blowout. Now, that's not to say that that cannot happen with this tank, because it very well could. But I've not experienced that yet. So I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and 100% defend Red Sea, but I think whenever people talk about tank failures, it's a blanket statement. For instance, people talked about glass cages for a long time, but you would see those every once in a while. I mean, every manufacturer is going to have some type of tank or whatever come through quality, and it's going to pass. I mean, they put the silicone on it. They expect it to cure for a period of time. I don't think that they fill them up with water. I'm pretty sure they don't fill them up with water to test them, but that's just how it is. So whenever they saw Red Sea, it kind of triggered me. I won't lie. And glass cages, although I've never owned personally a glass cage tank, I've seen at least one, and it was a beautiful piece of artwork. And especially now, you know, Glass Cages has a much better website. They seem to be doing some crazy things. They did like this 8-inch deep, like 6 foot by 2 foot tall, and like 8-inch front to back reef. And now they've done this crazy, insane sump. I don't know. I think they have their stuff together. But anyway, back to the phosphate saga. But before we get there, look at this. Colorado Sunburst Anemone and the ultra rare yellow tang. And if you want to buy them, $999.99 plus shipping for the yellow tang. Sorry, that's just how it works. And Colorado Sunburst, yeah, you're not getting them, because as soon as he splits, I got people that want pieces of them. But anyway, back to the phosphate issue. So I've been running RoaPhos more aggressively this time. It's a lot of RoaPhos in the tank. Super aggressive on the microalgae. And I've been running the RoaPhos for about a week now. And I tested phosphorus today, and I got back 200, but it wasn't blinking this time. I was surprised. I did a phosphorus check on phosphates. Come back 200, solid. Didn't blink back and forth. So I think we're making some progress here. Now, I did not think about this until just today, actually. Now, I've been filling this up with water that I've been running RoaPhos through. So that RODI water is hopefully stripped of phosphates. But I've been dosing Kalkwasser back here with RODI water that probably has phosphates in it. So let's head out to the garage real quick. I'm sick and tired of dealing with phosphates, so look at this. This is a BRS large reactor, and I have it mostly full of RoaPhos. It's being fed by MJ1200, and literally, I mean, it's like 8 inches of RoaPhos here, because there's nothing living in here, so I don't care about any of that. I just want to get the phosphates out of it. This has been the first time I ran probably like this much. Now we're running this much. I'm gonna let this run for about another day or two, swap it out, and then put it in this container here, do a couple of rounds in this container, because I can't deal with the phosphates. So how did I combat this? Now, to be honest with you, the tank doesn't look terrible. The glass does get really dirty. You can see where I missed a spot there cleaning it. Missed another spot right there in the center of the screen, cleaning the tank. Oh, before we get into that, let me see if I can get this. Look at this. Sponge Nation. Sponge. Estuarine starfish. Don't worry about him. Sponge There's sponges all over this rock. Sponges here in the center of your screen. So yeah, I went out on a limb and I may have overdid myself here, but I bought a gallon of PhosGuard and it's pretty heavy. So I'm going to aggressively filter out the RO tanks with PhosGuard until I feel like there's no phosphates in it. And I still do need to order new filters for it, but I'm still pretty pissed off that this hammer right here has 3 heads on it, 4 heads on it, which used to have like 12. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the phosphate. So also, I went ahead and bought an ATI ICP test for 2 reasons. Number 1, I want to know what's really in the water. I want to know exactly what's in the water. I want to know what my phosphorus is at. I want to know if my HANA is wrong. I want to know where nitrates are at, alkalinity, calcium, magnesium, trace elements. I want to know all that. And the best thing about ATI is, well, there's 2 things for me. It comes with a return label. So all I got to do is fill up the vials with water, put it in the mailbox. They'll pick it up. I don't have to go to the post office and pay for shipping, none of that. So that's great. Second thing, the Reef Moonshiners, what's the method, the Reef Moonshiners method. And if you're not familiar with this, I'm going to leave a video below from Angry Owl, aka Joey, that has transformed his tank using the Moonshiners method. They use ATI test kits, and the Moonshiners, on the Moonshiners website, you can download their handbook for free. And then you can buy their trace elements and dose accordingly, or as how the ATI test kit comes back to have an Excel sheet on there that has a calculator and all that good stuff on there. And I plan to do this particular ATI test kit is just to find out what the tank is doing. And I know I talked about it 3 or 4 videos ago about just simply doing ATI or ICP tests in general instead of testing the water myself. It just seems just better. I mean, I'm spending $44 a month, I guess is what that cost. And you get back a lot more data. But this one is kind of like a general timeline. As soon as I get the phosphates kind of narrowed down and maybe figured out, then I plan to do another ATI ICP test to figure out what moonshine elements I need to buy. I don't plan on purchasing like $300 or $400 worth of it. I plan to do the test and to buy what I need for the tank now. All right, now with all that being said, I figured I'm going to cut the video off here. It's been about 8 minutes for me rambling on about phosphates for the 3rd video in a row. But the tank is doing good, great, good, excellent, somewhat acceptable. Not sure, but the tank is doing all right. No complaints there. I do have something coming that will be mounted up here, so stay tuned for that. As always, I appreciate you following along. Be sure to check me out on Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef. Check out the website at pelfrey.net, and I'll catch you on the next one.